The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the people's platform.
Welcome back to Body Kona. I'm Sarah Bergeron. I will be your host. And today we're going to be going through some very beginner basics of a yoga practice. Starting off with some breath and then moving into teaching you how to do a sun salutation. We're going to go ahead and come on down and start moving together. So getting into a seated position here. You can be seated on a chair, you can be seated on the floor. You're gonna wanna reach that crown up towards the sky just to give yourself some space in the rib cage to inhale and exhale some more breath. We're going to be working on a breath of fire here to start out our practice. So this breath is going to build heat in the body, it's going to make you sweat, and it's also going to speed up that metabolism. So this is a wonderful breath to incorporate into any exercise. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to do it, and then we're gonna do a couple of them together. So first of all, like I said, reach that crown up towards the sky. Maybe bring the hands onto the body. Maybe soften the gaze or close those eyes down. And we're gonna basically be just exhaling here. So the inhale is going to happen automatically. So every time we exhale, you'll see the belly snap back. And then at the end of our breath, we're gonna take a big inhale and hold that breath for about 8 seconds together, and then slowly exhale it through the nose. So let's go ahead and start those rounds of breath. Once again, reach that crown up, place those hands on the body, maybe close the eyes or just soften that gaze, and then start those exhales. It's going to be a more rigorous breath here, so continue those breaths. Few more. Inhale. Hold. Slowly exhale through the nose. Let's go ahead and do another round of that. Reach that crown, take that big inhale, and start those exhales. Big inhale, hold, and slowly start that exhale through the nose. Let's do one more round of those. One more big inhale. And start those exhales. Inhale. Hold. Start that exhale. Now you should start to be feeling warmed up here. We're gonna slowly move into our sun salutation, taking our time, moving into a standing position. This breath can sometimes be a little disorienting, so if you're feeling a certain type of way, that is completely normal. Just stay in your seated position for as long as you need to and just take some normal breaths in and out of the nose. Once you feel grounded in the body, once again, let's go ahead and come up to standing. We're gonna come up to the top of our mat here to start our sun salutation. So we're going to ground down into our feet here, rolling the shoulder blades down and back, reaching that crown towards the ceiling. You're going to picture roots growing out of the feet here. So we are so grounded, we are so tall in our spine that we can just feel that extra oxygen coming in and out of the rib cage here. This is our mountain pose. So this is going to be the beginning posture of our sun salutation. We are then going to inhale into the rib cage here, big, pulling that breath down into the belly as we lift those arms up overhead. And then exhaling, you're gonna come forward with a flat back as you dive your way down here, coming into a forward fold. Bringing the hands to touch the mat, the crown to face the floor. And then as you inhale, either keeping the hands on the floor if your flexibility is very good, or dragging the hands up to the shins, creating that nice flat back here. So as if somebody could rest a coffee cup on your back here. And then we are going to then go ahead and exhale once more down towards the floor. Taking the left foot, we're gonna start with that foot, bringing it back, making sure that the wrists are under the shoulders. Fingertips are spread nice and wide here, giving you a nice base, a nice foundation, and then making sure the booty is down nice and low. There is going to be a straight line from the crown of your head all the way to the heels. If you're having your body up a little bit more like this, you're actually turning off all of those muscles. So we want to turn them back on, coming back down into that position. We are going to then lower ourselves down halfway here using the strength of our arms, making sure hands are in line with the breast here. Flipping those toes, coming up into our up dog. Pausing here, really stretching those legs, pointing those toes, and then slowly starting to flip those toes. Engage your core here to make sure to protect your low back. And then starting to press our way back into a downward facing dog. This is going to be the last posture in your sun salutation. And then you're either can hop your way or walk your way back up to the front of your mat and slowly begin to rise back up to standing. So now that you have the basis of this sequence, this flow, let's go ahead and do a couple of these together. This is a great way to warm up your body for any beginning yoga practice. So let's go ahead, root those feet down into the mat, come into your Tadasana mountain pose, reach that crown towards the ceiling, roll those shoulder blades down and back, allow that oxygen to really have some space here. Big inhale, reach it up. Exhale, dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant those palms, step that foot back. Meet it with that other foot, coming through our plank, shifting that weight forward here, lowering down halfway, chaturanga, flip those toes and pressing back. Once more, flipping toes, downward facing dog. Let's go ahead, continue flowing through this a few more times. Inhale, rise. Pausing, 2 breaths, big inhale through the nose, big exhale, inhale, rise, exhale, fold, inhale, halfway lift, exhale, let's bring the other foot back this time, and then meeting, shift that weight, chaturanga, up dog. Downward facing dog. Let's go ahead, speeding it up a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead. Let's go ahead and speed it up a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and cue the breaths this time. So let's go ahead. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant those palms, step it back. Inhale, shift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, downward facing dog. Walking our way back up and slowly starting to rise. Breathing here, ground in after you take a few of these flows and just feel how it makes your body feel. You're going to feel a lot more open in the front and back of the body, as well as calming yourself down as we're breathing through this. It's always going to be breaths in and out of the nose. When we're breathing in and out of the nose, we are triggering our parasympathetic nervous system to tell the body to calm down. When we're breathing out of our mouth, it actually signals to the brain that you might be in danger, that you're in fight or flight. So next time you are doing anything, just check in with your breath and see if you're breathing in out of your nose or out of your mouth. Now that we're nice and warmed up with our sun salutation, we're gonna do some core exercises. It's always recommended to get the core nice and warm and ready to go before you get into a vigorous yoga flow. That way, you're going to be protecting that body and that low back throughout the entire practice. So we're gonna come on down to the mat and just do a couple of core exercises here. So we're gonna come into a plank pose here. Bringing, once again, hands under wrists, spreading fingertips, rolling those toes under, and then lifting the knees up off the mat. This is going to be a simple core exercise. You're actually just going to be tapping the knees here. So we're going to be staying in this plank pose, coming through this just a few times. Breathing here as we move. Nice and slow. You want to take every movement, feeling the body working here. So your shoulders are working, your core is working, your thighs are slightly working, but we are focusing on the core. And then we're gonna take 3 more, and then we're gonna slowly come down onto those knees. Beautiful. Slowly coming down. We're gonna come into tabletop, spreading fingertips nice and wide, bringing the knees underneath the hips. We're gonna take some cat-cows, and then we're going to move into a little bit more warming up that core. So inhale through the nose, drop the belly and arch the back, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhale, round, press away from the mat, gazing up towards your belly button. Inhale, dropping that belly once more. And exhale, pressing away. One more round on your own breath. Take your time, be in your body. And press it away. Exhaling through the nose. We're gonna come back to those all fours here. Maybe repositioning our body if necessary. And then we're gonna inhale that left leg to come back, making sure we're flexing into that back foot here. So the energy is shooting out of the heel. Squeeze into that glute of that lifted leg to feel nice and stable, sturdy, and strong before we go ahead and lift that right arm off the mat. So this is going to be balancing as well as engaging that core. So we're going to go ahead, inhale, reach. Breathing here, pausing here, holding, making sure that belly button is hugged into the spine the whole time here. Maybe gaze is down towards the floor, the neck is nice and long. 2 more breaths right here. One more inhale. And on our exhale, we're actually going to press away from the mat and round the spine, bringing the knee and the elbow to meet, gazing towards the belly button. Few breaths right here. One more inhale. And exhale. We're going to come through a couple of these knee to elbow taps here. So like I said, we are moving slow, like we're coming through molasses here. Feeling every movement, breathing in and out of the nose the whole time. Let's take 3 more. Last round. And if we want to try and challenge ourselves coming back into this position, bend that back leg, reach it back and see what you can find. Maybe you find that ankle here. If you do, hook that hand right onto where that foot is flexed and then start kicking into that hand. Gaze comes forward. This is going to open the spine, help align the spine, and give you a nice stretch. Gazing forward in tiger pose here. And then slowly releasing, bringing hand and foot down back to the mat. I always like to look over the right and left shoulder after, just to rinse out the spine and reset. And then coming back into that tabletop position, let's go ahead and do that other side. So we're going to inhale the right leg back this time. Once again, energy shooting out of the heel, that foot is flexed. Inhale, lift the left arm, reach it forward, gazing towards the floor, engage that core. Breathe here, few breaths. This is getting our stabilization, this is building our strength, and you're gonna be building heat here in the body. 2 more breaths right here, nice and stable. One more inhale, fill up. And exhale, press away from the mat, round the body, gazing towards the belly button. Breathe here, 2 breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, open it up. Let's come through our taps. Moving nice and slow here. Breathe in. Three more. Once again, pause in that open position. Flex that foot. Bend the knee. Reach it back. See what we can find. Hooking on to that ankle. Gazing forward, kicking into that hand. Tiger pose. Deep breaths. Feel that spine stretch. The more you kick, the more you'll get out of this posture. And then slowly releasing, coming back down. And once more, looking over that right and left shoulder, rinsing it out. And then maybe even coming in to an up dog or a seal pose. Seal pose, hands will be as wide as the mat here. And then just allowing the hips to come down. Once again, just looking left and right, pulling that hip down to the mat here. And then coming out of this position, we're going to be moving into some additional breathing exercises. Now that we've moved our body a little bit, let's come down to seated once more and just take a couple of relaxing breaths together. So once again, rolling shoulder blades down the back and just reaching that crown towards the ceiling. Let's get grounded here. I'm going to show you how to do this breath, and then we're going to do it a few times together. So we're going to take a big inhale through the nose for 4 seconds, and then you're going to hold that breath in for 7 seconds. And then we're going to exhale, open mouth exhale with a ha for 8 seconds. What's great about this breath is the word ha is actually in the name of Hawaii, and it's a huge part of the culture here, the breath. So we always are reminded of that when we take these big ha's. And also, it's going to relax the body. Make sure you're being vocal with that ha, pushing anything out that's no longer serving you in your body. So let's go ahead, once again, get prepared for your breath. Reach that crown towards the ceiling. Maybe you're closing the eyes or just softening the gaze. And then take that big inhale through the nose, 4 seconds. Inhale. Hold that breath. Exhale with a ha. Ha. Let's try it again. Inhale. Hold. Let it go. Ha. One more. Inhale. Hold. Let that oxygen permeate those cells. Let it all go. Ha. Continuing to that normal breath in and out of the nose. Just feeling the change in the nervous system, the change in maybe how you're feeling about your surroundings. This is a wonderful breath to incorporate anytime you're in a stressful environment, stressful situation. Maybe you're going into a stressful meeting for work and you just need to step away and just take a few of these breaths. Just remember that this is your breath. It is available to you at any time. Let's go ahead now and move our neck and our spine while we're still seated here. So let's go ahead and just start taking some neck rolls here, nice and slow, dropping the shoulder and the ear towards each other, and then just rolling our way forward, and then slightly arching our way back. Always being very gentle with your neck and listening to your own body here. A few more breaths and a few more neck rolls, just nice and slow. Let's go ahead, starting to switch directions here. Making sure we do both sides and the body feels nice and even at all times when we're practicing yoga. Maybe we even slightly arch our way back and round our way forward. Not being afraid to engage the whole spine in this neck movement here. Again, just listen to your body though. 2 more. And then coming back to a neutral spine. Let's go ahead and take some seated cat-cows too. So we're gonna inhale the arms to come up into cactus pose as you arch and drop your head back, opening that chest, opening your heart for whatever's coming to you. Big inhale. And exhale, reaching forward, rounding here, gazing towards that belly button. Inhale, reach it back up. Drop those elbows, drop that head back. Exhale, rounding forward. One last round of that. Biggest breath you've taken all day. Inhaling through the nose, dropping that head back. And exhale, squeezing all that breath out with those ab muscles through the nose. And slowly bringing the hands back onto the body and bringing that breath back down to come in and out of the nose. Nice and calm, nice and even. Now that we have moved our body, stretched our body, breathed together, let's go ahead and come into a little self-love practice, just to always remember and honor yourself, your body, and the individual that you are. So let's go ahead, calm the mind, close the eyes down, maybe come to seated. Let's bring the hands onto the body somewhere. They could be on the thighs, they could be on the heart. I'm gonna go ahead and bring mine to the heart today because that is something I want to just spread out into this community. Let's bow the chin, start taking some big breaths in and out of the nose, close those eyes down, and just hugging onto ourselves. Let's think of 2 things that you are extremely talented at doing, that you are the only one that can do it the way you do it. And just always remembering that you are an individual, you are special, and that you bring so much into the world just as you are, as who you are. Thinking of maybe a talent that you have or something that you share with your family. It's all so valuable because you are so valuable. Keep breathing in and out of the nose, just thinking of these thoughts of gratitude, these thoughts of self-love, and giving that gift to your body. The gift of movement, the gift of breath, and the gift that you can only give to the community because of who you are. A few more breaths here together, just thinking of these thoughts. Again, I am Sarah. Thank you so much for joining me on Body Kona, and I can't wait to see you guys next time. Aloha.